Oh!
Super!
Spoon it. Yeah.
Get your watch out.
Whenever I'm down, you carry me away. You turn my whole life around just with what you say.
We are live. How the devil are we on a Sunday? Yes, we usually do these lives. Although I haven't done one of these in absolutely ages, and using this StreamYard software that keeps innovating and updating their system, I feel like an old man. How are we? We all right? Look, if you see there, look, they've added this. This is a beta thing or something, but they've added the comments in here. I can get rid of it if I want to, but I quite like it. This makes you part of the live show, and to be fair, it's all about you lot, isn't it? How are we? I have been great. I'm big old belly on me because my mum has fed me well with a roast dinner. Thank you very much, mum. As we do on a Sunday. That's lovely. And look at all these lovely people here. We got members, we got non-members, we got Seiko fans, and probably we've not got Seiko fans, have we? But today is a little bit about Seiko. It's a little homage to Seiko today because I'll get to the story why I wanted to talk about it, because I am a Seiko, what do they call us? A Seikopath. Just people that just buy too many Seikos. And I did try and purge. I swear I did try and take it down to about 7 or 8 Seikos, but then the last month has not helped at all. But look at this. Case is in the house. Chaz is in the house. Knots Gaz is in the house. Love you guys. This is why I still do it. This is why I keep doing it. Spence is in the house. Squirrel. Field It Rise is in the house. I sent a picture of my setup looking this way. And it looks quite, I mean, this is just a bit rubbish at the back here, but it'll do. But looking this way, it's an absolute pigsty mess. But yeah, there's a picture I sent to the members on the Patreon that showed what I am looking at. And I know Field It Rise is interesting to know what Seiko I've got here on a sailcloth strap. But anyway, listen, first of all, get your watch out. I'll tell you what I've got on my wrist. But first I want to know about yours. So even if it's not a Seiko, it doesn't matter. Tell me what's on your wrist, and let's get going with this. Come on, what we got? Andrew, Robert, Shori. Yes, Shori. Shori watches me on Instagram and TikTok when I do the lives. He's a lovely fella. I did a Field It Rides is saying something. He's saying no cat litter this time. Now, oh look, say hello to Mrs. MWC. She's in the house. If you say hello to her, she's sitting down over there. She's admin. Basically, I had a little go at Patreon live shows, and it was when we got back from Plymouth, and I had to change the cat litter because the cats had done a lot of poos, and I thought I'd do a lovely Patreon live just to see if it worked, and it did. There was not a lot of watch talk going on, but you definitely got to see behind the scenes, probably more so than you wanted, you know what I mean? But anyway, lots of love for Mrs. MWC. Lovely stuff. Look at all these. Look at this. We got Lupino with the Seiko Land Shark. Absolutely love that watch, and I've got mine. I'll show it off in a minute. I am definitely a Seikoholic. Nick says, Squirrel's got his DW290 on. Beautiful watch. Spence, love you, Spence. Got his SNA 411 on. Beautiful. The SNA is a beautiful watch, isn't it? Hey, you can't say. Marine Master 300. Brian's going big. Brian definitely saw the title of this watch and the thumbnail, and he wants to have his say, and that's what I want. So we got the Landshark Lupino, the Seiko Monster from Nick, Matt's got his Casio G-Shock Mudman. Love that one. Which one, Matt? Tell me it's the G9000 and you will be eternally in the MWC club. Phil's got his Willard. Oh, he's got his limited edition one with the 8L35. We'll talk about the 8L35 in a bit, but awesome. Look at this. Ascari, Mark, how are you doing? He's got his RZE UTD on. I have actually still got that watch under the stairs. They haven't told me how to send it back or what RZE, but I do love that watch. I might just put it on tomorrow. Might give them a little nudge to say, "Oi, I've still got this watch. What do you want to be? What do you want me to do?" Mr. Jolly 69. Wow, he's got a Mad 1 on. Very snazzy, very snazzy. I mean, I prefer the thickness of the Mad 2, or the Mad 1 2.0, but it just didn't feel as good as the Mad 1. But it's a superb watch. Tez's got his Zelos on. Lee, how are you doing? He's got his SPB 513 on. Lovely, my friend. Excellent. Driver Fish has got a Seiko Alpinist Rock Face. Oh, listen, I mean, we can talk a lot about Seiko and everything, but one thing that they do flipping well is dials. There's no doubt there. But anyway, all tucked up in bed, Ascari. Squirrel's asking. Hope not. You're making me want to put my Seiko Arnie on. Oh, Andrew, do it, mate. Do it. Do it. Also, we've already got a question from Danish. How are you, my friend? What's your thoughts on the Hamilton Murph 38? I think it's the watch that should have come out to start with, if I'm being honest, my friend. They did the right thing. They brought out the perfect reissue of the watch, but it was for a film. You know, you wanted to see the watch big on screen. It was a screen watch, you know, it was flipping big, and it was made to look like a vintagey watch, and vintage watches aren't 40 millimeters. But the one thing it doesn't have is the Morse code on the seconds hand. But listen, the actual one that was in the film didn't have. I think it's a great watch. I think it's a great part of the Hamilton lineup. I think it's great. Cool. Yes. Ian, thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that a lot. Listen, I mean, I had an August off pretty much. And it just gave me a lot of time to look back of what I've done. It gave me a little bit of time to get off the hamster wheel. You know, we're always chasing after these views, the algorithm and all this rubbish. The main thing is, though, I when I do my shows, I just want you to see them, and I want comments about them, and I want discussion to be made about them. But most of all, I just want you to have a bit of a good time watching the shows. I want to take you away for 10 minutes and have a good time and think, crikey, you know, that's pretty good for a watch show. I wasn't bored at any point. That's what I want. That's what we want. Some people don't like it. Some people don't get on with the light-hearted stuff. And, you know, let's be fair, there's 1,001 other channels that do the serious stuff. But we're not here to be totally serious all the time. Right, now, listen, I've got all my Seikos here. Oh, I tell you, I'm going to give this watch away. This is a brand new Casio A130. For some reason, I had two of them. This has not even been opened. I've done a show in it. I'll leave a link to the show in this show here, in this live show. I'll tell you how to win this at the end of the show, and it'll be dead simple. Also, for Patreons, there's a little description link here that's running along in a banner. Come and be a Patreon. I'm actually going to be giving away this Erebus Origin GMT, which is a very, very well made watch. I'm going to be giving that to one lucky Patreon. And get in Patreon. It's good. You know, we have good chats. And the guys at there, we're almost like a family community in there. I really love it. And I'm going to do more of those cat litter lives as well, which I know that you're really looking forward to. Flipping heck, Spencer Miller does more than enough.
He's the number one fan. He's got the number one crown. Have you seen that?
No, is Spencer the number one fan?
Yeah, according to this, he is the leaderboard of top fans.
Crikey, this is MWC. This is Mrs. MWC's voice there. Not many people get to hear that. Spence does too much. He's done too much. All I care about is seeing how he's doing in the day. I'm not selling this. I'm giving this away. We're giving that away as well. We're giving that away. Spencer Miller, you shouldn't have done that, my friend. I have to know, did you sell your GAV01 or is it still in the collection? Now, Spence is talking about the burnt cookie G-Shock that I had to buy. I don't know why, because I haven't worn it since the review. And you know what? I'm going to give it away to a Patreon as well. It hasn't even been worn. I don't think it's in the box, but it hasn't been worn. I'll send it to one of the Patreons. I mean, it seems as though half the Patreons that we have own a GAV01. I don't know if it's out of a joke or they're doing it for a bet, but they seem to like it. It's one of you guys has got the yellow one. One of you guys has got the purple one. Yeah, I mean, I can't see what the crowns are, but oh, I can see on the phone. Spence, you are the king, apparently, mate, of everything. But thank you, mate. You shouldn't have done that. Yeah, so I'll be giving away all this stuff. Lovely jubbly. I've got a basically, let me tell you why I wanted to chat about this. I'm a Seiko fan, and so I always get a little bit not defensive, but I like just to have a chat. Seiko has a huge problem to people that don't really know Seikos that much. They have a problem in a sense that they sell watches for £160 and then they sell watches for £3,500, and someone that's not into watches go, care, Manuel from 40 Towers, they sort of don't understand, well, what's the difference here? That's a big problem. They're not in one price bracket. They're not a Rolex. They're not a luxury brand. They're not just a budget brand. You know what I mean? They are, up in scale, and they have different scales and different price points. And in those different price points, you get certain things. But we can't forget to start with. We can't forget that Seiko was born in 1881, I think it was, something like that, by Kintaro Hattori, and he was only 21, and he opened a little clock shop in Japan. I think it was Tokyo or around there. I think by 31 he was like king of Tokyo watchmakers and ambassadors and everything. Seiko have a huge history of innovations, from first automatic chronographs, inventing the dire shock shock absorbers for the bearings on the jewels in the movements, so you can have a good anti-shock movement, a little bit like the Inca block from the Swiss. The innovation of the Astron from 1969, the first quartz watch, the first quartz diver to ever go 600 meters. They've done the first TV watch, Seiko had, they've done absolutely phenomenal things, and they built up a reputation that's just so big around the world. We know that they have shareholders, staff. The machine that drives Seiko is absolutely huge, and we know something else that doesn't work in their favor is they bring out reference after reference every year, and doing so, ADs need to get rid of the older references. They may have too many of the references that came out last year, and they have to sell them on. Therefore, they put the prices down, and then you hear people say, "Oh, don't buy that until it goes in the discounts." They got a point. Because in 6 months to a year's time, a phenomenal watch, I'll show you, like one of that I have, has gone down hugely in price. But I guess it's FOMO at the end of the day. You want that watch, and you got to get it if you want. Now, I saw a clip or short on TikTok, and it was from our friend Nico Leonard. Do we all like Nico Leonard, or what's our thoughts on him? I don't really want to go there, we're all open about it, aren't we? Big shout out to Fraser Nash, top guy, Russ. I love all these comments in the chat. First of all, he's done great stuff for watches. He comes from a watch dealer background. And for me, if a watch doesn't make any money, he's not very excited about.
No, it's Casio.
He likes Casios, yes, because it does push towards a certain audience that he half of his audience probably are Casio owners or buyers. He said in a clip, and it was like a little quip at the end. He said, "People who spend over £1,000 on Seikos are RETARDS." And obviously he's not mean that in a serious way. He's joking about, but you know him, he does mean it. He's actually like how he is on YouTube. And I thought to myself, that's a bit harsh. That's a bit harsh. There's a reason why Seikos are at that price, and they have a strategy. We may not think it's affordable or right at times, but if he was to feel some of the Seikos or handle some of the Seikos that I've owned or handled over the years, I'm sure he would not feel the same. But anyway, so I'm going to tell you the watches that I've got. I've got 10, and then we'll go through, specs and what Seiko think is deemed more expensive. You know what I mean? But anyway, G-Man Roundy, that's exactly what it is. I personally come from an enthusiast view, an enthusiast background. I will not buy a watch and think how much will I lose, how much money I will lose a year's down the line, or can I make money on this watch? A limited edition for me does not mean cha-ching, I'm not going to lose money on this watch. It's like there's not many of these watches around, and limited editions are usually Seiko's best watches, unfortunately. And this is the handle that they have on us Seikopaths. Some of us may not want to believe that, but that's what they do. Just take a look at the 62 mass recreation with the 37 millimeters. Very disappointed that they didn't make more of those. Philip Rides, thank you, my friend. Phil's a great point on his mountain bike there with 7 gears. He makes a great point. You can start your watch collection with a Seiko, and you can pretty much end your watch collection with Seiko, whether it be thank you, Phil. Thanks, Phil. Didn't need to do that either, mate. Whether it be a high-end Seiko, a Grand Seiko, or a King Seiko, or a Creedor. This is how Seiko are so mighty. Anyway, hands up or thumbs up if you've got these watches. Now, I know a lot of you guys will have these watches. So yeah. Phil, yeah, limited editions you got to have. But I don't think of a limited edition as a watch that I'm not going to lose money on. Some people would. So my first watch here is the Seiko Ani SNJ 025. If I had no Seikos and I had £420 to spend, this would be the one I get. 100%. It just makes me smile. It's heavy. It's not light like you would think it is. There's a lot of tech in this watch. The screw down pushes are fantastic. The crown has little haptics to it. It's a phenomenal watch. I love the bezel action on it. Love the dial on it. It's phenomenal. You will not regret it if you bought that watch. That's solar powered. I mean, Seiko in the 70s. 80s, 90s, maybe they went down a mechanical route, and then Citizen went more of a quartz solar powered route, but Seiko are still heavily involved in solar. Keith, SLA models don't seem to hold value for resale. That is a good point, my friend, because I think they make a hell of a lot of them, don't they? But that's not to say that they're not good. We know they're flipping good because SLAs are mirror finished. They're Ceratsu polished. They have a human touch to the finishing and the quality, the build quality of the whole thing, from the bracelet to the case to the sapphire glass to the way the bezel is. Everything about an SLA is top that Seiko can do. Their movements are 8L35s, which is basically a grand Seiko movement, a high beat movement, a 4 hertz movement, but without the decoration. It's a phenomenal watches. SLAs, they are fantastic. For me, SLAs are a little bit tricky because to show off that they are SLAs, they have to have that mirror polishing on them, and that polish, just doesn't work for me practical sporty wise. Even on their sports watches, if you get them scratched, you're in trouble. But the finishing to them is absolutely phenomenal. My little SNX 579, this watch I absolutely love. This little day date. This holds this cost me about £100, and I think you can still buy it. They don't make them anymore, but they made so many of these watches. You can buy them. 7S26 movement inside. Doesn't hack, doesn't hand wind. The bracelet is a little bit rubbish. The finishing to the case. Hang on. The finishing to the case and the bracelet is completely different. That's one way you know that this is a bargain Seiko. But the 7S26 is an absolute workhorse. It's a great point to make that Seiko, when you go up the levels in prices, the bracelet, the quality of the bracelet goes up. That's really important. What doesn't improve, or what doesn't have that you would expect from a more expensive watch, is a signed crown. We just don't have it. Seiko just don't do it, and we just got to accept it. But listen, does anybody complain about Rolex's casebacks? Does anybody complain about Tudor's casebacks? No, they don't. Another little Seiko 5 of the 7S26. Phil, this is the watch. I can't remember what the reference is, but I did a show on it, and it has an unbelievable dial. I can't quite show it because it's not showing. It has a fantastic dial. Love this watch. This was quite cheap at the time. I don't know if they have it for sale anymore, but back in the day, Seiko's dials, I feel, were probably better and probably better value for money than today's entry-level Seikos. I've said it on many occasions that I think Seiko have absolutely, watered down the SKX5 Seiko 5 sports watch to death. You've seen so many references with that same case shape, but bringing out old references, but in that case, and I think that's wrong. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I mean, I come from an SKX owner. This watch cost me £160, ISO certified. This is the Mac Daddy of my watch collection, and it will never go. 7S26 doesn't hack, doesn't hand wind, but I'm pretty sure this watch will outlive MWC. Beat Patrol. New old stock. Wear it or sell it full set in 20 years. Beat Patrol. I'm never a person that ever would suggest or recommend you not wear a watch. I buy watches to wear. Watches were made to wear. This is why I can't get on board with, is this watch an investment? Is this watch an investment? I just don't want to think of it. I don't want to think of watches as investments. You know it's going to hold its value, whatever the value is now. They're probably about £500, £600. A Japanese domestic SKX 009, so that would be the Pepsi bezeled one. That's a nice watch. That's a fantastic watch. If it's on the Jubilee as well, that's even better. It's up to you, my friend. I would wear it. I would wear it. Maybe baby it. Maybe not take it out when you're doing the gardening, but I would wear it. I would wear it, man. I've got this watch. So some watches come along that Seiko don't adhere to we change the bracelet. If it's an exclusive bracelet, then the price goes up and up. If it's an exclusive case, then the price goes up and up. Well, this is why I was banging on so much about this SRPK 17, this watch. So it's a reissue of the first Seiko Sports, and even though it was a reissue of one of their older watches, which you usually are taxed by, they usually put the old reissue tax on their watches. I'll show you an example of it in a minute. This was only I say only, it's still a lot of money, but £350. This is why this watch was an absolute steal for me. And there's a lot of people that have told me about, oh, the Jean Crans, get the Jean Crans. Well, when I've got this watch, which I just feel is a far better looking watch, and shouts more to me than, it's slightly bland, the Jean Crans. I do appreciate it. It's about, and I appreciate that they've done it, but that SRPK, if I was to buy a Jean Crans, then it wouldn't get the wrist time because I'd be on the SRPK. Not only the SRPK, but I've got the SPB 411. Now, this watch is a limited edition watch. You can still buy it. It first came out at £1,400, I think. So this is a reissue of the Navigator timer that came out in 1968. It was the first Seiko GMT to have a twisty 24-hour bezel. So you have, on most Seikos, you have the reissue tax on top. Now, this had I can't remember what it is. I think it's a 6R54 GMT movement, which is pretty cool. It's got a gold rotor. I think it's 72 hours power reserve, 24 joules. Majority of Seiko movements beat away at 21,600 beats per hour. That's another thing that people get a bit upset by. Is I've got my £100 Seiko 5 day date with a 7S26 movement that beats at 21,600 beats per hour. This, which is £1,400, also beats at 21,600 beats per hour, a 3 hertz movement. And any micro brand you were to ever buy, if you're spending over £1,000, you would not have a 3 hertz movement. You just wouldn't. The NH35, which is the 4R35, that movement is the entry level movement. Now, I see refinement in a smooth sweep. You're only going to get that with your SLAs, with your 8L35s. But what, as you go up the price bracket to like £1,500, which I'll show you in a minute, you get higher power reserve, you get higher joules, you just get a better made movement. Seiko and many other brands like Hamilton, they really do put emphasis on their power reserves. When you've got 10 Seikos and you've got 30 other watches, I'm not really bothered how long the power reserve is, how long the mainspring is, but I would always like a smooth sweep. That's the trade-off I've got to make with Seikos, and I'd say that's the only trade-off I would like to change. I'd like that for them to change. I would like their 8Ls just to come down a little bit in price. Now, let me show you this watch. I've got the Landshark. Have I missed keys? I do not want to miss keys. Keys, don't super chat me, mate. You remember, is the old Monster and SKX still worth it to buy? Oh, that's such a hard question. When I bought this case, when I bought this, it was £170. You can't buy this watch for £170 anymore. Is it worth £250? I still think it is, but you know, Seiko don't make these type of watches anymore. They make those Seiko entry level watches. They make the Seiko 5 Sports cases. I would say, me being a Seikoholic, I would buy the Monster. I would buy the old SKX, because you are Seiko fans, so I would definitely. Here's probably my favorite Seiko that I own, still is. This is the SPB 153. This is a reissue of the 6105, which is a dive watch that came out in the late 60s. It was made famous by well, it's true to the time, really. But what's the war film with Martin Sheen in it? He wore it anyway in the Apocalypse Now, I think it is. But he wore it in this film, not the green one. I just love this green. But this was around £1,000, and it did not come on the bracelet. This also has a 6R35, which is the same beat rate as a 4R35. You just have where the 4R35 has a 41-hour power reserve, the 6R has a 70-hour power reserve. And I think it has one more jewel, but that's the sort of difference. So yeah, but I still love this. I've got this on a Uncle Strap's Tropic strap, and I bought this strap when they were still Uncle Seiko. They're called Uncle Straps now, and let me tell you, they've just sent me a batch of rubber straps, and they're on another level to what this is. Anyone that has new Uncle Straps will know that what I'm talking about here. Keith Davis, it's an absolute pleasure, mate, to have you as a member. Thank you very much. If you're coming into this little group of ours, please tell us the watch that you're going to bring in. So I love my Willard. My Willard's my favorite. I have to show you this because this is a phenomenal watch. This was the last Seiko I thought I was going to buy. And this is the 7A. You see it's slightly misaligned on that seconds hand, on that chrono hand. We can sort that out though. The 7A28 -7040 or 7. Yeah, I think it's a 7040. This is basically the first ever quartz chronograph, analog. And it is absolutely phenomenal. It just reminds me of the DeLorean. It just reminds me of the 80s. It reminds me of, I don't know why, but Arnold Schwarzenegger again. It looks like a stripped back tuner. I absolutely love this watch. And I was very surprised at the bezel action, because bezels tend to be quite spongy-wungy for Seiko. If you listen to this, spongy-wungy. Willard spongy-wungy. Yeah. Landshark. Spongy-wungy. With this, it was boof, 60 click, boff. Look at that. That is sensational. It's stiff, but it is quality. If you've got one of these, fair play to you, because I don't know what I was missing. You won't know what you're missing. It's a fantastic watch. So yeah. Akshay wants to buy a watch. I love it, my friend. Now listen, so my latest acquisition for you is the Seiko SPB 515J1. Now this is not a cheap Seiko. It's £850. It's not a limited edition, and what's important is it's not a reissue of an old reference. If it was a reissue of an old reference, I think we're talking another £150 to £200 on top. That's what I do feel that Seiko put reissue tax on their watches. I don't know if you agree with me, but that's my feeling. This is inspired by speed timers and watches of the 60s. Now, when I saw this watch, I thought straight away, this looks like the Bellmatic. I had Bellmatic in my head. I also there's a couple of 6139 automatic chronographs that I thought was absolutely spitting image of it as well. And that you can't find too many Seikos that have speed timer on the dial. That's what I loved, and this just reeks MWC Seiko hobbyist for me. So what you get with this, you don't get signed crowns. Not with Seiko, and I'll show you a £1,500 Seiko in a minute. You get a fantastic bracelet. I haven't seen this before. Decent clasp. It's milled. It's not. There is no on the fly extension, which some people moan about on the fly extension, but honestly. Right, if we're really honest with ourselves, some people might do this, but honestly, I don't. when have you ever used an on-the-fly micro adjustment extender? The only time, this is honest to God's truth, the only time I've ever used on-the-fly adjustment extender or distender is on a review. I've never done it on any other time. But people see refinement, build quality, and attention to detail with a little on the fly adjustment. You can buy 300, 400, 500 pound watches. You could buy an Erebus watch and get an on the fly adjustments, which is great on paper. I'm not bothered about it, but for some people, you love it. That's fine. Yeah. This watch has a 6R, what is it? 6R55 inside, okay. Oh, and this is the same movement that is in the King Seikos. Again, 21,600 beats per hour. It has a 72-hour power reserve. It has a lovely gold rotor. But that is an upgrade for the 6R35. Before you go into a smooth sweep, a 4 hertz sweep, this is the best you can get. I just absolutely love this watch. Just love it. Absolutely love it. The internal bezel is not ratcheted, which I'm not too bothered about. I mean, MARC did mention that these sorts of bezels, when you're moving about and working day to day, they can misaligned. I'm not that obsessed with alignment 24/7. As long as it's, I can adjust it back. But I know some of you out there that would do you Sweden. Yeah, I absolutely love this watch. The size of this watch on my wrist was perfect. The feel of the watch, the way it hugs my wrist. For anyone that complains that Seiko only bring out old references, this is another one that isn't. Look how that hugs my wrist. 39.5 millimeters, and I've got a 6.5 inch wrist. Seiko are absolute kings of making watches just want to hug you on the wrist, you know. I've talked a hell of a lot. I do apologize, team. What? Stop buying me wine. What? Phil, you shouldn't do this, my friend. Oh, Mrs. refresh that glass. We don't do alcohol, do we, Mrs. MWC? Do a nice cup of tea. That's what we do. But yeah. Anyway, what I have here is this is the SPB. Come on. This is the SPB 519J1. This is a GMT reissue. It's the GMT part wasn't a reissue, but the case is a reissue of Seiko's first watch, diver, back in 1968, that could go 300 meters water resistant. It was a monoblock case, and it's basically a celebration of Seiko's 60 years of dive watches. Now, so with this, I feel you get a different feel of a watch when you get to the 1,500 pound mark, and it's not a limited edition. It just feels expensive. It feels more like jewelry. Every part of the watch feels milled. It feels just well made. The brushing feels good. The bracelet is phenomenal. The case is phenomenal. No signed crown again at 1,500 pounds. Some people might not like that. The bezel action, smooth and refined. I like mine 60 click, but that's fine. It's a beautiful watch. Mirrored polishing on the facets here. You get a clasp, which is unlike most people would know clasps for Seiko. It's a little clip out, and it's a double deployment with a milled. However, we do get little push here, little on the fly diver's extension, like that, like the Marine Master, I think, but that is pretty cool as well. Really like that. So you get the innovations of 60 years in this watch. This is inspired by watches. This is inspired by a watch, and that's why you get a little bit more Seiko tax on it. But beautiful watch. Wish I could show off the case, the dial more. I was given to this by Seiko. I've got to send it back. They said I had 7 days to do the review and send back. Well, that was in July, and I've had it for a while. So I need to do a little show on this watch. It's a beautiful watch. It is a beautiful watch. I've already got a GMT in my Seiko collection, and I don't need another. But it's a phenomenal watch. Now, what I would say, so if it's a £1,500, if you bought it for £1,500, would you make £1,500 if it was to sell it next year? The answer would be no. The only watch that really makes money is Rolex or limited editions, and that's why people, flip limited edition watches. But once again, I buy watches to wear, to love, and I don't buy watches to sell. So this is another reason why dealers, I've always had a funny thing about Seiko watches. Most of the dealers would have started with Seikos as kids and worked their way up. So it's a very weird role Seiko plays in our little watch community. Very easy to love, very easy to just stick with that brand. But also there are ways or little nitpicks you could have to have a go at Seiko, and I completely understand them. I do. Me personally, I would take 60 years of heritage in the watch in a reissue from 1968 over a watch that is brand new by a brand new company and doesn't have any history or reason. The watches. I'm all for specs. I don't know about you guys, but I'm all for specs. But when I see a watch that's just been released and there's no story behind the case, there's no story behind the crown, the dial, the hands, they've just been made because it looks good or it's going to sell well. In my head, there has to be a reason why this bunch, even I've got my Submariner here, but there's got to be a reason why. There's got to be a bit of history to even a story behind the watch. Do you know what I mean? That's what draws me in. That's what makes me research it. No disrespect to the likes of Zelos, who make absolutely phenomenal watches. They just don't do anything for me. Seiko have got all this amount of history, and so I'm obsessed with finding new Seiko 5s or Seiko 5 Sports and stuff like that. I love micro brands. I think they're fantastic. I think they do unveil the curtain sometimes, because you can get signed crowns, 4 Hertz movements, sapphire glass. You have to reach a certain level. This £850 Seiko has sapphire, but you can go up to 600, 700, 800 pounds, and Seiko has hard legs. Now, I don't have a problem with hard legs. I've had this watch. You have a look at this. I've had this SKX for 8 years. No scratch on it whatsoever, and I wore it every day to tennis for like three years. Yeah. What I would say, I'm looking at Slave MI, the Seiko you just showed doesn't have history behind it. It just looks good. I say to you, my friend, it has speed timer history. It has all the great design traits that Seiko had from the 60s, from the late 60s, the early 70s, the 6139s, dash 7040s. Those watches were incredible, and it just celebrates it. to me. I know it, but Miss MWC, anyone that doesn't really know watches, they won't know it, but it's cool. And you're absolutely right. People will think that this is just a cool watch. It's a cool watch, but when you look deep into the brand, crikey, you can go down rabbit holes that you will never get out of. That's what I love about it as well. No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like a speed timer, my friend, but it says it. But yeah, and I mean that's my pet peeve. Now, should you buy watches? Should you buy Seikos that are over £1,000? If you like it, if you buy into the brand, if you have been waiting for them to come out with this reference for 2-3 years, if you think it is the perfect watch for your wrist, you go and do it. You know, who are we to tell you what to do with your money? Who is anyone to tell you what to do with your money? As long as you don't buy a PRX, I'm absolutely fine. As long as you don't buy a Tissot PRX, I'm absolutely fine with you doing anything. You know what I mean? I'm only joking. I know there's probably half the people here with PRXs. But listen, you do it. You do it. I know that a Seiko over £1,000 is worth it. I think it's worth it. I do. Those that like flipping watches don't, because they don't buy into the brand. They bought into brands that would make money, and that's absolutely fine. That's their job. That's everything, you know. Anyway, I'm going to have a look at some comments now, and I'll tell you how you can win this Casio. Let's get in here. On a black single past NATO, I think I found the perfection. YW, you have to tell me what the watch is. Finally renewed the membership, mate. Could you resend the link? Of course I can. Punch drunk, drunkard. You can get on the Patreon though. I do appreciate you though, my friend. Patreon, you get a lot more these days. Anyone that would like to get on the Patreon, just get in the description below and let's have a bit of fun. Lupino's got his. You're showing some PRX love. That's absolutely. I like that, my friends. There's Seiko Monster, obviously. The time teller. That is one Seiko 5. Okay, 2. You've just named 2 that I really do like. The checkered flag one, which I did review, and the Dress KX, which I think is probably one of the best Gada watches, affordable watches you can buy. It just doesn't have the diver bezel on it. It does look superb. I do. Ninja's Rose. Ninja's Rose. What is it, my friend? Rio Lobo. Awesome, my friend. Would you consider doing a show with TGV from the Urban Gentry and Mark Frankel? I've done a few Rio Lobo with them. I've done a few. They are 2 of my favorite humans that like watches. Hopefully, I'm really serious about doing a podcast. I really am. And it'll be on entry level watches, the affordable watches from 1,000 under. And I'd like TGV to be my first guest. I will always have a guest on these podcasts. I don't know what to call it yet. I do have my membership on the YouTube is the Watch Movement. Now, I know Gringa and Adrian have the Movement. Is it too much for me to call it the Watch Movement? I don't know. I got such a good logo though. Glyn made such a good logo for it. I will do. Promise. Bought sits in Ciosa instead of PRX. I hate the crow so much I should sell it. I hate the crow. What do you mean, David? I'm not a huge fan of the Ciosa, but listen, I'm not a huge fan of integrated bracelet watches. I would say that the bracelet is really jingly jangly on that Ciosa, and the case just doesn't sit well with the bracelet for me. But they have come out with like 38, 37 millimeter watches, Ciosas, and they do look really nice. But yeah. Watching some of the old. Here we go. TGV was a great color. Oh yeah, I love him. And listen, next year I want to go to New York, and if I can go, I want to see Mark, and I'd like to see T. Wind up next year, 2026. I would like to do it. I just have to get the all clear from certain people. Miss MWC. I know, but it's on our anniversary, isn't it? Yeah. Rob, totally get that, my friend. Totally get that. I don't like the fact that they, in the shop window, they are flogging the Ciosa. I don't like that. But yeah. Matt Shepherd, probably not. Chat, why do you think I might not be reviewing the Seiko Pepsi release? I love the case. I do like the box it comes in, I must admit. It's an SKX Seiko 5 sports case again, and they've just coloured it up with something different, What are you doing? Sorry, that was a little pussycat down there. Come here. Come on, Minnie. I don't think if you've ever seen pussycats. Come here. What's this? Come on. Come here. Come on. Come on. I've got a lovely vocal range, you know this. I'm a singer. Here she is. Here she is. Come over here. What's this? She's a little bit shy as Minnie. But she's a lovely girl. Oi, there she is. This is our ragdoll, Minnie, and she is a ragdoll pussycat. The only trouble is she's got a problem, hasn't she, Mrs. MWC? Yeah. She doesn't know where the cat litter tray is, does she? Even though she walks right next to it and sees it, but she does not want to poo in it. As my MWC Patreon members will know. But my older one does, but I think it's because of the pheromones and everything. She's allowed to use it, but this one's not. But yeah, apologies for that. Don't think you've ever seen the pussycats. Anyway, the Germany trip was phenomenal, my friend. It was brilliant, Robert. Robert, I hope you're doing well. That's a lovely looking pocket watch you got there. Just to let you all know, there's 200 here in the chat. Please like it. I don't do many of these live shows, and I would be very grateful if you could like the show. And I'll tell you how you can win this watch in a minute. The dive watch, is coming very soon. I've sent videos of certain parts of the watch, the diver, the collaboration diver between me and Radcliffe watches. It's a phenomenal looking watch. When it comes out, I'm going to be so happy when it comes out. And listen, there were so many people that were disappointed not to get the field watch, the MHKR. This watch, you are not going to not want it. If you are a fan of the MWC channel, or you like my tastes in watches, which might be a couple of you, you're going to love this watch. You're going to love this. There's a reason for every design point to this watch. This is going to be, there's some parts of this watch that tell a story about me as a watch collector, but just cool stuff. And just a cool looking watch. 200 meter water resistant, 4 hertz movement, 60 click unidirectional bezel. I don't know if the prototypes will have drilled lugs, but it will have drilled lugs. There will be a signed crown. It will be on a Tropic rubber strap. It will be coming out very soon. It will be 39 millimeters in diameter. The perfect size for a dive watch, any watch. But I am so looking forward to showing that off to you guys. And when I get more when I get the prototypes, crikey, you will know about it, team. You will know about it. Not Skaz is a owner of. Oh, he's got it on his profile. Look, I think he's got the MH KR on his photo. Yeah. To be fair, that's a good point that Andrew makes. Most of my watches, if they don't have a story that I could connect to them, they don't stay. They don't stay for long. So yeah, that's a big thing for me. Yeah.
Question from Shorey and Jim Bones, a new member.
Shorey, definitely listen into the podcast when you start up. So what do you think complements your Air Tech Challenge 2's the best? Probably the GAV01, probably Shorey. The old burnt cookie. Do you know what? I would like to own a GBD 200, but in the tennis ball yellow colour. Did you hear that, Mrs. MWC? As a Christmas idea for one of the family. The GBD 200. In a... she don't know that reference, but yeah, I don't know why I said that. I think you called my blue one Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah.
That's what I remember you calling it. No, Gwendy, unfortunately, no. I don't know if you know it. I don't know if you know it, but she doesn't like watches. She doesn't like them. So yeah, more wine, Phil. Lovely. So listen, I'm going to tell you how you do this, how you win this. I'll send. Don't matter where you are in the world. I will send it, post it, because that's how I feel about you guys. This is an A130 Casio. I reviewed this and called it the best new retro release of 2025, and I still stick by that. I love this. Still in the box. This is a spare that I had. I don't know why I've got it, but I've got it. But it's not going to be here for too long. All you have to do is, one, make sure you have subscribed, which I'm pretty sure you are. Subscribed to the Man Watch Collector YouTube channel. And in the comments, not in this live feed, but in the comments after the show, just give me any comment, just anyone. Something that will make me laugh. That'd be nice. A little story or a little quip. That'd be good. And I will send that to you. Don't have to do anything fancy. Who out here is giving away watches? Which other watch YouTuber is giving away watches left, right, and centre? I will give away this to Patreons. To have a look at the Patreon in the link, see the benefits, see the fun. There haven't been a blooper reels yet, team, just because I didn't do too many shows in August, but it's coming. Don't you worry. I've tapped quite a few times recently, and there'll be some great things to have a bit of fun with. Yes, the Erebus GMT is being given away. And thank you for all those that keep watching. You guys are phenomenal. For those that are watching live, but also for those that are going to watch this maybe tomorrow or the next day or tonight or whenever, you really do keep me going. And what I do, and I must say a big shout out to all the new people as well. There's loads of new people. I always try to do a show as if it's my first one. It's what I was told a long time ago in the music, is play like it's your first show every single time, and play as if no one's ever seen you before. And that is quite a shock to a lot of people, but still. Anyway, love to all. That's it from me. Sorry.
You just said hello to Jim Bone. He's a new member.
Jim Bone's a new member?
Yeah.
Where's Jim Bone?
It was a long time ago. I think you missed it.
Jim Bone. We got to stay for the... Oh, Jim, there he is. Jim Bone. Love it, Jim. Love the old little schooner. Love the little boat there, mate. You have to tell us now. I don't know if you're still here. I'll see in the chat at the bottom. If you are still here, give me the watch that you're going to bring with you to our club. Pleasure to have you aboard, my friend. Cool. Awesome. Oh, look. Dead. Did you see that?
What?
The lights have turned off. Yeah, they've just gone off. Oh, that might be because of me. Bosh. There we go. This is something that I've had that didn't cost too much. Look at this auto. I really like this. Oh no, you can't do it. But it does all sorts of stuff. But I do like purple because that's my sort of colours. Yeah. Take care, everyone. In the comments, great chat, great finish. What an ending. In the comments, not in this, but in the comments section after this show, please. Oh, blooming neck, Ascari, Mark, what are you doing? Get some trees for your cats. Shall I get my new litter box? Ascari, don't do that, mate. Thank you. You shouldn't have done that. Appreciate that a lot. He's currently living in India for work at the minute. He goes all over the show. He is the gentleman that he's just a wonderful guy. He's always in the chat. And he's too nice for me there. Too nice to me there. Thank you very much, Mark. All the best to you, and I hope you're doing all right in India. Thank you to everyone that's been here today and made it what it is. You guys are very important to me. Thank you all. Next show, I think, is going to be, I've got a Blancpain one to do. I've got a very nice, I've got a lovely Squale. I've got a beautiful hand heart to do. There's loads of watches coming up. Enjoy it. And if you don't know Miss Krista, it's not. This is in my living room. My room where I used to do the live shows got taken up by our second child, which is annoying, which is why we want to move and get somewhere bigger with my own studio. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, Miss NWC? Yeah. Anyway, all the best to you. Phil, stop feeding the wife tea. Stop feeding the wife tea. She's got enough. She's got all sorts of tea bags. She doesn't go hungry. Phil, thank you. You shouldn't do that, mate. Anyway, all the best. Thank you, Phil. You've made me go funny. All the best to your team. Take care. And do what I said for a chance to win this. Comment in the description, in the comment section below. Not now, but after the show's been aired. And you've got a chance of winning this Casio A130. All the best to you. See you later.